Hey guys, Joe here. Was just at work and reading some of the comments from my two videos last night, part one and part two, or whatever, about the July 11th Webbot date, and some people would comment and stuff. I guess YouTube's doing some kind of updates right now, so I can't comment back for the time being. But a couple people mentioned some things about the oil leak, and now all of a sudden CNN headline late last night, "Oops, oil cap delayed." And one of the things that was posted on there was it could be there are some issues, some bad, and some um, better to be safe than sorry. That's exactly what the article said. Well, what are the bad ones? What is that? What is that? They didn't get into it. So again, building tensions almost on a daily basis and then release. We thought the cap was on Monday. It was looking good, but they left the thing wide open. That's odd. And then, you know, the next day, okay, they're getting some tests. Everything looks good. And then up late last night, delay it again. So they're building your tension, release, emotional release. Oh, it looks good, bad, damn. Okay, it looks good, damn, bad again. Right? This is fitting the language perfectly. So I'm going to say now, with my own opinion, 100% this oil leak is the event of July 11th. They put the cap on from the 11th to the 12th, successfully got it on the 12th. This is the event. And now this cap being put on is causing the emotional release and building tensions daily now. So I'm going to read you the latest Webbot report, several pages. The stuff I've been talking about in these last two videos was from the March 12th report, not the very latest one, which was like a month ago or whatever it was. And just so you know, I keep this backpack on me now at all times. And in it, I do have a gas mask. It's one of those Israeli gas masks that you find on eBay all over the place, and inside there's the actual filter. Here, and I do have a concealed weapons permit, is my Smith & Wesson M&P 40. It's one of my favorite handguns. Again, I do have a license to carry that. I have a concealed weapons permit for the state of Florida. It is on me at all times, and it is concealed completely. That's all my backpack has right now. Anyways, let me start reading this report, because this is interesting. Populous US of A. And this is the latest report. It's about 36 pages. And I'm only going to read you a few, like several, and I may have to make a fourth video to finish this, but I'm going to read it. If you want the report, you want to know what all 36 pages says, I highly recommend getting it. It's $10 from the Webbot guys, halfpasthuman.com, www.halfpasthuman.com. And you'll see it right on the front page, the latest report. I think it was about a month ago that they released it or so, in June something or another, maybe June 21st or something, I don't remember. Just get the thing. It's worth $10, and it keeps them able to, go with more reports in the future. And I'm not going to sit here and copyright the whole thing and whatever, or violate their copyright and read you the whole report. But this is very important, so I'm going to read you a few pages. Populous, US of A. Cresting, crying, crashing, cursing, coughing is the title. The data accretion patterns within the shorter term values sets are indicating that the unemployment wave will be plainly visible in early August. The supporting aspect attribute sets begin to accelerate their accrual on July 23rd. The unemployment wave, and by the way, I'm trying to put a little emphasis whenever I see the actual keyword that they have in brackets. So when I kind of emphasize a word a little bit, I'm actually reading the keyword that they have in the report. That's the hot word. Okay, so the unemployment wave then grows very rapidly within the internal supporting structures for devastating impact on or about, plus or minus a few days, July 28th. As model space is progressed to August 4th and beyond, the emotional impact values within the lexicon associations for the supporting aspect attribute sets jumps to highly visible within the mainstream media. Further, these supporting aspect attribute sets bring along values indicating that the emotional impact of the unemployment wave will be palpable and is indicated to change the face of America. Noting that language has an inbuilt ambiguity, the data details suggest that the face of America will reflect despair by late August. There are many crosslinks over to the Terra entity. And keep in mind, when I say the word something or another entity, that's their way of saying that's the topic of the webbot. So the Terra entity means the Earth type of thing. So they're going to talk. That's what they're talking about. So let me start over right there. There are many crosslinks over to the Terra entity, pointing to continued and very personally deep emotional response to the continued problems within the Gulf of Mexico. But the data is also very clearly pointing to new troubles that will be blanketing the populace of the U.S. Okay, let me start over. But the data is also very clearly pointing to new troubles that will be blanketing the populace of U.S. at that time. These new troubles include the unemployment wave and the deep despair that is created as the populist U.S. of A. in mass discovers that any economic recovery is merely happy talk from the propagandists. The indicated level of sudden despair over the unemployment wave and its dire forecast for longevity will be so visible as to provoke a reaction from the powers that be minion class at the highest levels. So Congress, President, etc. That's what they're talking about. Part of the accretion patterns are suggesting that the minion class panic reaction comes from the revolution thread that becomes visible within the lowest classes of American society, where a new cry will be heard and spread like a dangerous mental disease for the abolishment of the currency system. The data indicates that this will not be merely the call to end slavery to the central bank cabal, but even worse for the powers that be, this new revolutionary shout will be for the end of monetary organization of planetary activity. Further, the section of the data with the most crosslinks over to the powers that be is gaining most of its support from the descriptions pointing to this currency abolishment aspect of revolution as being led by disenfranchised leaders. These new leaders are within the context of the homeless and forgotten, but also include descriptors for academics and military, especially infantry. There are also supporting sets with crosslinks over to the power that be entity that indicate a major disclosure of bloody crimes by the central bankers will be a pivotal point for this new revolutionary movement. These bloody crimes are described as recent and involving personal murders. The bloody crimes are also indicated to bring down, dethrone several of the minion class as well as primary central bank persons, as their participation in murder, most horrid, will emerge. Not directly related as a casual agent, but clearly temporally linked, this murder by central bank thugs and the bloody hands of the high-ranking, very visible central bankers will further exacerbate the unemployment despair, as a large proportion of the populous US of A becomes aware that this time there will not be a return to corporate business as usual. Hence, the end of the 2012 date, etc., says exactly that. The old ways are thrown out the window, the old paradigm, the old society, everything is thrown upside down on its head and thrown out the window to make way for the new age or the new way, etc. It's not just going to be earth changes and destruction. It will be the economy, the dollar, gold and silver skyrocketing, food shortages, and you're going to have to deal with earth changes. So anyways, back on track here. There are many supporting sets for the populous US of A entity that accrue during... Well, let me stop for a minute. I realize none of this is talking about the other stuff my first videos talked about the July 11th stuff, but I'm getting there. This is just the start of it. There are many supporting sets for the populous US of A entity that accrue during the last half of July and across August and September, indicating that an uncontrollable by the powers that be revolution, an uncontrollable revolution, in other words, powers that be can't stop this, is indicated to begin with 8 teeth. The 8 teeth, additional note, please recall, we take bodily part references very seriously as they are primal archetypes of human experience. So whatever 8 teeth is, maybe there's some guy from Louisiana down in the dirt south there with 8 teeth and he becomes a huge figure. I don't know. But let me continue reading this. The 8 teeth